Warning: this episode may contain spoilers for certain TV shows and movies that we will discuss in this episode, as well as me struggling to pronounce things throughout this whole episode. Hello everyone, welcome to the Betatalk podcast. I'm your host.
Oh god.
What an intro.
What an intro.
Hello guys, welcome to the Betatalk podcast. I am your host, Kieron. I'm here with my co-host Lewis and Lewi, really. And we're here with Josh as well today.
Hello.
So, how is everyone doing today? How is everyone doing?
Good. About to be stressed because I didn't realise that I've instantly got into a boss fight on Dark Souls as we started the podcast. I didn't think I was ready, and now I'm gonna try my very best not to swear profusely during this. This one's usually all right, so hopefully we might be good.
Yeah. How about you, Josh? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm doing well, mate. Yeah, I'm doing well.
Good.
Yeah. How are you, Kieran? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, to be fair. I'm doing alright.
Good.
How has COVID-19 treated you, Josh? Because I've asked everyone this question.
To be fair, I don't want to sound bad saying this, but it's kind of benefited me.
Yeah, I would kind of say it has for me as well. I agree, because I've been working since lockdown, so.
Yeah, same. I've been working the whole way through as well. Yeah. And yeah, I've kind of just it's allowed me to, because fuel prices plummeted, and because there was no one on the road, no traffic, I was getting to work really quick, saving loads of money. And obviously I'm still working, so I'm still on full wage rather than being furloughed, so that's good.
So it's been good for you, yeah.
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, it's not been good because it's not good, but it's treated me all right. It's done all right by me so far.
All right. So I do have some topics here that we could talk about today. For anyone wondering, I made an announcement recently that episode 3 and 4 will be kind of specials, like review specials, with episode 3 being the new Christopher Nolan film Tenet, and then episode 4 being season 2 of The Boys. Any Christopher Nolan films you guys seen? Any Christopher Nolan films you've guys seen at all?
I think Interstellar's got to be that's got to be up there, one of the best Christopher Nolan movies, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, I'm totally down
definitely
with that.
There.
It's very just the visuals are what really got me, and just the concept of it,
Yeah.
To think that time's different out there, which I mean, obviously, I think it has been proven, but it's just weird to see in a film format.
It's off. It's Einstein's theory of relativity, isn't it? It's all gravity and time's all relative to where you are. So on Earth, time's different, and it's relative to Earth, whereas time on the sun is relative to the sun. Stuff like that, all confusing stuff.
Yeah, it reminds me of Inception, which I went to go rewatch in cinemas because they've re-released that for Tenet. Because that's really good. Because Inception does when you go into another dream, time is slowed down.
Yeah.
So it's if you're in a dream, so basically you can be in a dream for a long bunch of hours, but then in reality you've only been asleep for 1 hour. And then and it's like a kind of dream heist movie sort of thing.
I always quite liked that. To be fair, I only recently, maybe in the last year, watched Inception for the first time, and it's still it's still I've watched it 3 times this year, but it's really interesting, the whole just thinking about how it all works, going from one dream into another dream and or the stages, and I like the kick they do. I think they call it the kick, where they have to the feeling of falling wakes them up.
Yeah, it has to wake them up, because otherwise they can't wake up at all.
Well, it's very true to life, isn't it? Because you all it's a very common thing for people to have that. You're dreaming of falling, and then soon, just before you hit the ground, you kind of go like that, and you wake up.
Yeah, you feel like you've fallen into your bed.
Yeah. It's it's crazy. I really like how he did that film. It's a really good film.
I always feel
I
like
think
Christopher Nolan's really good at sort of like his films have a lot of information in, but they don't bombard you with it. Like
No.
you take in the information really easily. Because like
It's
Interstellar had a lot of stuff going on in it, and it was quite confusing, but it wasn't as confusing as it should have been. Have all that
Inception's
stuff.
actually pretty easy to follow once you like gain the grasp of it, gain the grasp.
Yeah, once you sort of wrap your head around the idea of like the dream within dream thing, it's pretty
Grasps.
straightforward, isn't it?
Yeah,
Which is I think
Hmm.
I think that's what like with a lot of Christopher Nolan movies, I feel like
he wants
they're
to try
quite
and
straightforward movies with a lot of like, extra stuff going on
that
that you have to sort of work through.
either work through or like rewatch.
Yeah.
Dark Knight trilogy, because it's a good trilogy itself. I mean, it
Mm.
doesn't have to do anything with what Christopher Nolan's really capable. I mean, he's capable of making amazing scenes, especially with the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises. But like for a DC superhero like series, it's really good. Surprisingly enough.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed the Dark Knight trilogy. It was, I mean, I don't really know how to put it, to be honest. It was it was a lot more realistic take on Batman, because obviously Batman, in a world of superheroes, is like the only guy. He's a superhero, but he's the only guy without any powers. So like his power really is his money and his tech and his genius, his smart, his intelligence.
Yeah.
And I think Christopher Nolan made he made it a lot more down to earth and more realistic and more relatable than say Batman vs Superman. Like that's just a stretch, isn't it? Obviously, because Superman is clearly invincible, pretty near enough invincible guy who could just do anything. But no, that's why I much preferred his take on Batman and Christian Bale's take on Batman than most other. What's the word? I can't remember what it is now. The word. Well, like any other take on the Batman kind of franchise, I think Christopher Nolan's has been my favorite personally. I haven't really watched any of the older ones, with like George Clooney or Michael Keaton.
Have you never watched
yeah.
them? Have you never watched them the old ones?
I think I've seen a very vague. I think I saw a little bit with the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger as the as what's his name?
Dr.
Iceman?
What is it?
Dr.
I
Frost?
can't remember what it. No, it's not. I can't remember what his name is. Yes, I know what you mean. The ice guy. He's got like the ice cannon, hasn't he?
Yeah. And all those
yeah,
really cheap puns that Arnie was like, cool down and stuff. It was just like it was great. I loved it, but it wasn't
I think it was called
for like
Yeah, he's called Mr. Freeze, I think.
Mr. Freeze. Yeah. But for like. Yeah, see that film was really good, but it was cheesy, it was the 90s. But for like a real down-to-earth, serious, realistic representation of Batman, Christopher Nolan absolutely, I think he knocked that out of the park, 100%.
Yeah.
I have to say, I think like as a trilogy, it's probably, as far as superhero movies go as well, it was probably until I'm gonna say like Infinity War and Endgame are my two favorite superhero movies, but I feel like as the trilogy that the Dark Knight series was, I think they were probably the best superhero movies for a long time, and they're still kind of on par with Infinity War and Endgame, just because of like how good and realistic they are. But it's not to the point. It's not down to earth to the point where it makes the movie like mundane and it takes the fun away from the superhero aspect. It still has that like that flair, and it's still fun to watch, and it's exciting, and you still get that superhero feel.
Yeah.
I have to admit though, the one thing that I do prefer or not prefer, but I like a bit more in the new Batman was like the strength that the new Batman seemed to have. Like Ben Affleck's Batman seemed to be like that scene where they're in the warehouse and he's going to get Superman's mum.
That fight scene. Yeah.
That fight scene, like I just feel like the way that Batman moved was really, it was really good. Like when he punched that guy's head into the floor and like threw the guy into the wall, it was just a much more like rugged way of fighting.
Yeah.
which I just thought was really cool.
Another episode that we said we planned to do was season 2 on the boys. So what? Because we didn't get to talk about this in the first episode. Thoughts on the first season? Because mine
Loved
is...
the first season. For some reason, and I was going to say this before we started the podcast,
Yeah.
but I'm going to rewatch the podcast, the first episode again.
It's-
But I have some sort of weird deja vu that we like at least mentioned the boys in the last
we
podcast.
haven't
I don't know if we did.
Because
But we
only
didn't
me and
talk
you
about
have
it
watched it.
in-
Because I don't think
Yeah.
Dan and Leo have. But no, I absolutely love the show because it's literally superheroes, but like, you know, it's taking a mick, but like superheroes, but assholes, really.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like it's basically superheroes that are more kind of their morals aren't nowhere near as pure and kind-hearted as
Homelander.
like your normal DC and Marvel. Like Homelander, yeah, he's like the Superman of the group, right? But he loves the fame, he loves all this, and he's a bit of a dick. He's like, I'm invincible, I can do what the fuck I want. Like he isn't like Superman who's like, I only fight for, justice and the American way and blah blah blah. No, he's like, I do what I want, I'm on like a contract with this company that's like in the works with the government and stuff. And he's like, hey, as long as I'm getting paid, he's kind of like a mercenary version of Superman. Like he probably wouldn't do it unless he was getting paid.
He needs that money.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd say
I mean,
he's a very
Kieron,
terrifying.
sorry.
He's a very terrifying character. Like literally, there's one scene where like he's like in an office with like a lot of people doing computer work, and like there's this woman who's like sitting at a desk doing her job, and literally he's like asking her, "Can I look at this?" And she's like, "Well, no, it's confidential information." And he's like, "Well, look, I'm the Homelander, and I can do what the fuck I want." I'm like, shit. Just like it was very like that line alone really just prove how terrifying like Homelander is. Like even if you try and deal with him, he'll just
well, yeah, because like Superman would be like, okay, no problem. He's polite. He's not gonna be like that. But obviously, the Homelander's like, well, I'm kind of like a god compared to you, so kind of saying no to me is like the stupidest thing you could ever do.
you could get yourself killed if you say no.
Yeah, like I can literally kill you with like a flick of my finger and you are dead. Like it really, and it's like no skin off his nose. Like who lives and who dies. There's very few people that he cares about. So that's what makes him also like quite a terrifying character, because he doesn't have much to lose apart from his powers, I suppose, are the only thing that keeps him this threatening.
Another character,
yeah.
which is a favorite probably of like everyone's here, Billy Butcher.
See, now
What a
I
legend.
thought like a mortal man could not pose a threat to someone of like Homelander's power and stature, but he just watching that series goes to show that like even like a normal human with no powers has a chance against like a god.
But he's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, like I mean, he has a good reason to if you know like the backstory
Yeah.
and all that.
If you understand. Well, we can mention spoilers because I mean the first season came out a year ago, and there'll be a spoiler warning before the start.
Well, yeah,
of this podcast.
If you haven't watched it, then that's up to you. If you want to watch it before seeing this, then I would advise it before spoilers continue. But if
Basically,
you don't, if you want to risk it for a biscuit, that's up to you.
So basically, Billy Butcher's wife goes missing, or apparently is killed after she goes missing, and literally Billy thinks that Homelander has something to do with it, which he's technically right. Homelander does have something to do with it, but it's not the fact Homelander didn't kill her. It was the fact Homelander had sex with her and they had a child. Literally, the ending to the final episode in that first season was just like a massive punch in the face.
Didn't he also like hit? Didn't he also like hide his wife from Billy? Because obviously he
that's what they
he didn't
did.
even know if she was alive or not.
They made it seem like she was
where
dead.
she was.
so that
Yeah.
he would stop looking for her.
If I remember rightly, though, didn't Homeland didn't know, did he? Homeland, because the woman who,
Yeah,
who
didn't
was
he-
like the
he
boss
didn't-
hid it from
There's
him.
like a flashback scene where she's giving birth, and it's like really fucking graphic, and literally it's like the most painful she's had. But apparently that's what I'm guessing Homelander thought.
Well, super babies.
Oh no, yes. Homelander asked for, I think, about what's her name? One who is it Elizabeth Shue plays in that series. The one that Homelander has mummy problems with.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't
I
remember
can't
what
remember her name. Yeah.
Um,
Have to look up the cast
yeah.
in a second.
I believe. Oh no, Madeline Stillwell.
Madeline's
Stillwell.
yeah.
Yeah, basically, like, I think she tells him like she's dead, or like because yeah, Josh, like you said, so I thought Homelander actually knew, but no, he didn't. He knew about the whole sex thing and that, 'cause he did that, but he didn't know she was still alive.
He was there for that.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a bit weird if he wasn't.
No, that'd be
Oh, I've just had your baby. Okay, but we didn't have sex. That would be a twist and a half.
Whew. Be finding somebody else.
That'd be a real shocker.
Yeah, but I say Billy Butch is like a character you can also love because how like he doesn't care like the fact he technically plays Doom guy in the 2005 movie of Doom. If you see the first person shooter scene, he literally becomes the Doom guy. So it's like when you see him in this, you're like, yeah, it makes sense.
I've kind of like stayed away from that film because I feel like
it's shit.
It just yeah. I've
Apart
heard
from that
ruined
one
Doom.
thing,
and I feel like I like The Rock and I like Carl Urban. Is that his name, Carl Urban?
it's Carl Urban, yeah.
You know for
Yeah,
a fact
Carl
that if you
Urban.
watch that, it just ruined Doom for you.
Yeah, it
Well,
will.
yeah, not just Doom, but like the actors themselves. So obviously, this is like probably quite an early thing in their career.
For Dwayne, The Rock, he was doing a few films before that. I didn't know about was it Curl or Carl Urban? I can't say it. I feel really bad for getting it wrong. Yeah, but one of my favorite scenes from Billy Butcher is like the part where he uses like the baby like with the laser eye. Oh my god!
So, like,
that
That
is-
was
I
such
love
an
that.
amazing
He
scene.
literally said what everyone was thinking, like just like
That's fucking diabolical.
yeah, it's like it was so funny that scene. It was just literally
Oh
like
my
what
God.
everyone was thinking, but you
Mother's
wouldn't
Milk
expect him to
just
say that
watched
in
like
it.
shit. Damn.
Yeah.
I
I feel like his character, like him and his character, just are an embodiment of like England. That's just how British people are.
Yeah, that was fucking diabolical.
He's just like he just has the attitude and like I wish I had that kind of attitude.
Mm. I mean, I
towards
know
life.
he's not British, but like he does like embody, like to me he embodies a British person.
Yeah.
He has it well. He definitely does a good job.
Someone like you see at the pub after like
Yeah.
6 pints.
He literally
Yeah,
is. It
pretty
literally
much.
he literally sounds like someone you see down
Times
the
4.
pub.
Like, let me tell you a story.
He's actually I believe he's from New Zealand.
He's New Zealand.
yeah,
so
he
is
is, yeah.
Anthony Starr, right? Is it? Yeah, he's from the guy who plays Homeland is also from New Zealand. So it's like kind of.
Hey, well, how about
quite
that?
Oh, yeah. And I say the other character's good, like A-Train, like with the whole story between him and Huey, where like he kills Huey's girlfriend.
Oh yeah,
And it's the
that
most
was
graphic thing
brutal
you'll-
when he
I was gonna
straight
say,
up-
can I
Actually, no,
just
there's
say
a
how
bunch more
great the
graphic
opening
things
to
in
the
that show
series
than
was?
that. That was pretty graphic, but there's more graphic scenes in that show.
I just think like how great was the opening
It's-
scene, just like just what a way to kick off a series. Like you watch that, 5 minutes in, you're hooked.
as soon as I saw that, I was like, "No, this is going to be a good series." I was like, just seeing some random person blow up in the middle of the street. Hell yeah!
I like
That's
the guy.
my jam.
I like the guys. The fact that the ones who are behind the show is like Seth Rogen and even Elvin Goldberg. And I'm just like,
What really? Are they?
yeah,
Are they?
the they're the ones who developed the show as well as being can't even say
Executive
executive
producers.
producers. God damn it!
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, I rate that. So it's quite nice to see that, but yes, I can't wait for the season 2 though, because I've seen some scenes. I feel like Queen Maeve, I think. Doesn't seem like she's in it a lot for the second season. She was in a lot for the first, but I was like, okay. But I might be wrong, to be fair. And also, like, the fact that season 2 already has like a lot more stuff going on, which is
Well, yeah,
already
because she's the Wonder Woman of the group, isn't she?
Yeah.
I suppose.
Also,
you-
Starlight's the character play Starlight's really good. Starlight,
yeah, I like how she's like
I will-
different from the
Yeah.
others because, like, you know, she's at the
looks-
end of the season, she's with the boys pretty much, isn't she?
She
'Cause,
looks
I mean,
at
if you watch
the,
the
like,
season 2
the
trailers,
7 that she's with, or technically the 6 or 5, and she just kind of goes, "No, this doesn't seem right," because she's seen it from when she was a kid. You know, she looked up to these heroes. She didn't obviously see the behind the scenes part, so when she saw that, she was like, "Okay, no." So to be fair,
it was quite cool, her character, because I think throughout the series, like her character had like this inner conflict about like you said, Kieran, like looking up to these heroes her whole life and wanting to do good, and then also like having to accept that actually the people that she looked up to actually aren't that great, and the people who
they say
you
never
see
meet your
the heroes are seeing as the bad guys are actually the good guys.
Yeah.
It was quite a nice inner conflict, I think, that
They
was,
say never meet your heroes.
yeah, that they do.
well, I mean, to be honest, that is basically like that motto is pretty much what sums up her arc in the first season.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty well summed up with that. Yeah, no, she's a pretty cool character. I like that there's a superhero going against the other superheroes.
Oh, you also got.
You,
Is it the?
you don't really see that a lot. And
What's her name? The one who's like who escapes, but then she ends up with the
oh yeah, I don't.
With
She
French
doesn't.
in
I can't remember her name. I don't know what her
the
name
female.
is in the
That's
actual
what she's
show.
called.
She's literally just called the
The
female. Yeah.
Feminist.
Because she has the fight with Black Noir, is it?
Yeah. Yes.
That's a pretty cool fight.
I did kind of spoil myself on who Black Noir is, but I'm not going to say it here because this actually hasn't been revealed yet.
Yeah, no, don't worry, I
Yeah.
know as well. It's to do with the comics. You find
Yeah.
out who he is.
Because I really wanted to know.
Yeah, I'm quite bad like that. I'm like, oh, I don't want to spoil it for myself. I'm like, oh, I must know, and I kind of give in, and I'm usually like, yeah, screw it, I'm just gonna find out.
So yeah, I cannot wait for season 2, and I'm glad it hasn't been delayed. And there's already a season 3, and already been planned. And was it the one of the main characters from Supernatural? What's his name?
Oh yeah.
Right, hold on, I'm gonna search for it because I got.
Is it Jensen? Jensen something?
Jensen Ackles, I think. Is that?
Jensen Ackles, that's
Yeah.
it.
Literally.
Yeah. Plays Dean in Supernatural.
And then
I love Supernatural.
I think he's playing as Soldier. Not Soldier Boy.
Yeah, he's supposed to be playing like their version of Captain America.
Yeah, their version of Captain America. So I'm like, oh, that's gonna be interesting.
Question for you two then.
Yeah.
If superheroes were real in the real world that we live in, what scenario do you think is more likely? A scenario similar to The Boys, or a scenario similar to like Superman or your conventional superheroes in movies? Like,
I would say, depending on how it's happened, it might be more of The Boys situation because then you got like super terrorists in the show as well. So ones who try to.
let's just say like one day we woke up and 25% of all human beings had superpowers.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Just at random.
Yeah, no, I think if when you put it like that, I think that would definitely be a Boys situation.
Yeah.
Because there's obviously not all 25% of those people are
gonna
going
be
to
nice.
are using it for good. Yeah, exactly. They're not going. I mean, some of them will, but I think it would be like a very big, like almost like galactic. I don't know why I said galactic. Civil war.
Yeah.
I think a lot of conflict would happen, and I think it wouldn't be very pretty. I mean, as sad as it sounds, I think I'd definitely imagine it being more of a Boys type situation. But I would definitely prefer a DC or a Marvel universe situation for our reality.
Is there a
also-
situation? Is there a situation where you think that it would end up like like Superman or something. Do you know? Like, do you think if there's a way that people could become superheroes in our world and be more like a Marvel movie or more like a DC comic, you know, where they do good?
Yeah, no, I definitely think there's people out there that would like. They'd be like, oh, I've always wanted to be Superman, and if they're one of those people that obtains these powers, they're gonna definitely fulfill on that and be
Something
that type
else.
of person.
There was someone else as well I would mention, like with Captain America: Civil War, when they have that discussion about like, you know, even though you're saving people, you're also sacrificing others. Like, you can't save everyone, but it's like
Yeah.
you're being like blamed for it. Like, you know, you got. So they could also have that kind of situation. So if they accidentally have someone killed, and you know, people see it, some people will see it as vigilantes because they're like, oh well, we don't trust them if they're not going to be 100%. So there's also that situation. I think The Boys even covers that as well. Like the like when A Train has to apologize for, you know, putting Huey's girlfriend into bits.
Yeah.
But then there's also with how they would have to deal with it, and how, because they would have to pay as well. Like whoever, because they have to be work for a company technically, because they can't be them, because otherwise they'll be hunted down.
Yeah.
Like, I think The Incredibles.
So basically,
it's
basically privatized.
You have
Like
you have
it's
to
like
stay hidden.
privatized superheroes, isn't it? It's like you can do stuff, but you've got to do it for a company because you need to conform to their agenda, and if you're not
And you
conforming to their
also got to
agenda,
pay for
then
any
you're the
damages
enemy.
as well. Pay for any
Well,
damages.
yes, because if you're a part of that company, you'd be insured, wouldn't they? So like if they damage stuff, the company would pay for
And
it.
also, how they would get that money is if companies, if places were paying that company like a lot of money, like to make sure their city's safe.
Yeah.
Maybe, I think that would be another thing.
But I think that if you had like a Captain America, the first Avenger sort of scenario where people they came up with like a superhero serum, they started giving it to people. I think it'd be completely different, but I'm not sure it'd be better because it would just be like all the Western superpowers, like having all these superheroes, like giving them even more control over like less fortunate countries, like even more so than they do now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree, definitely. Yeah, it's just a tricky kind of subject, isn't it? Because I mean, say like you got like a lot of this 25% population of these new superpowered humans. Like some of them are going to be American, obviously, and I mean, if like you've got Trump and that whole situation. Obviously, I mean, what God knows what he would do with the news that there's like superpowered humans going around.
I mean, I legit think that like they literally do what they do in The Boys, and they privatize superheroes, and they literally just use it for their own agenda. Like, imagine
Like
America had all these superheroes. They could literally just say to all these Middle Eastern countries, "We want your oil. We're going to take it," and they just send like 50 of these souped up human beings into the Middle East, and they just storm the place and take whatever they wanted, and no one could stop them. Like, not even other countries' militaries could stop them. Like, if you had people like Homelander about.
Yeah, I think it was with The Boys as well when they had that whole like, you know, going to Middle Eastern countries. So like superheroes going against terrorists, but they had like a law against that at first because they were like, well, they should be used for, you know, kind of other, you know, purposes like keeping a city safe or something like that. Yeah.
Like actually doing good.
So then, because then others will feel at risk in other countries, and then like a lot of politics can go down. Like a lot of.
Well, I mean, effectively, it'd put the whole world at the mercy of whichever country had all these superpowers, wouldn't it? I mean, you wouldn't be able to. No country could compete with a country that had that sort of power.
No, that's a simple answer. No, they wouldn't, because they'll know what will happen. People will feel threatened as well if, you know, they get attacked, or, you know, if they get sent a threat anyway. So yeah, it's a bit like that.
I mean, it is a very interesting thing to think about, like what the effect of something like that would be. Like, just what I remember, just like watching when I was watching The Boys, because you're so used to seeing, like the Marvel movies and the DC movies, and the superheroes always wanting to do good, and they've always got this like inner drive to do better and to these morals that they need to like be better and help people. But then like a lot of, not all of them, but some of the superheroes from The Boys really don't care that much, and even if they do care, like they really show how like the system and how peer pressure really stops people caring. Like the Wonder Woman girl, I can't remember what her name is. Like you can tell that she's got a lot of inner conflict and wants to do good, but she can't, like she doesn't have the guts to stand up to people and actually do what's right.
And that's
She just
what,
wants to sort of like follow what's going on.
That's what Starlight somewhat did in one of the scenes at the like religious festival. She just went, you know what, I'm just gonna speak out the truth, and literally like she got a lot of praise and support for it. Because people are like, that's what we want to hear, or that's what we thought. Wow, that's the thing, we didn't know we needed to hear that, but we're glad we did.
Yeah.
For like some, but I feel like would most be like, I'm glad someone said this.
Well, hopefully we get to see how everything turns out, because I mean, I really want to see what goes down in season 2. I mean, I hope I reckon it's definitely going to be as good as the first season, if not better.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they know what like.
Well, we will find out once
people
we watch
want with
it,
this
and
series.
once we'll let you know what we think about it. It'll be a spoiler review, of course, because.
Oh yeah, I'd love to do like a I'm
free
so down to talk about it.
I mean, we'll do a quick spoiler-free bit, like, oh, what do we think of it? Yeah, it was really good, and then we'll just discuss spoilers right after that. Oh, so what else have I actually got on? I put on in the little chat that we have to discuss
The talk list, the conversation
podcast
list.
talk.
Podcast talk
games
list.
that are coming out this year. I'll start with one.
Ooh.
Did we talk about Cyberpunk 2077 at all on the first episode?
We probably did.
We might have briefly mentioned
because we don't really want to run over the same subjects.
No. What other games that we?
I don't know if it's coming out this year. I did see a game that looked very good, and I never heard of it until I saw this trailer for it. It's called Star Citizen Squadron 42.
Ooh, actually, I think I've heard that before.
And not only does it looks pretty good, unfortunately, it has like a very Infinite Warfare-esque vibe going to it.
Oh,
but they have an insane cast for the game. They've got Mark Hamill, Henry Cavill, what's his name? The guy who played Commissioner Gordon in the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yes.
What's his name? Is it Goodman? Summer Goodman? I can't remember.
Hold on. Star Citizen Squadron 42. Cast. Sorry, I feel bad for typing this out if you guys can hear me.
Gary Oldman.
Gary
Oldman, that's
Mark
it.
Strong, Andy Serkis. Is it?
There's Mark Strong's in it. There's like a whole really big like
there's quite a few people
cast, and it almost seems too good to be true, to be honest, because that's my kind of game. I mean, Infinite Warfare wasn't great, as we all know.
There's another game I want to talk about. Speaking of COD,
okay,
but we can't really speak of it much because we don't know a lot about it. Black Ops Cold War.
Yeah, I thought you might say that. They've got some sort. I saw something on Instagram, on Treyarch's Instagram. They've posted. They posted like a photo of a television and a bunch of videotapes with different years on them. Like you got like 1961, I think. You got 68, 89, 80, 82. There's quite a few years on these and I have no idea what that's all about, but I'm very interested to find out.
Oh, basically we get to see a review of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War on August the 26th. I just found a teaser for it called Know Your History.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
So that is probably what it was.
yeah.
Have you
Okay.
guys heard about what they're supposedly going to be doing with Warzone after the new CODs come out?
No, I actually haven't.
No idea.
So this isn't. This is just what I've heard, and this is like there's no like.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Concrete evidence. Yeah.
It's not confirmed. There's just a lot of talk about it. But apparently, what they're going to be doing is as Call of Duty progresses. So like, obviously the new Cold War will be coming out, and they'll release another game next year and the game the year after. Apparently, Warzone will stay the same game, but it will change. So like, you'll get weapons from the new Call of Duties. The map will change. The aesthetic will change. The characters and the operators will change. Everything will change with the new Call of Duty, so it stays current. And it's constantly evolving and progressing, but it's still the same game.
Well, that wouldn't be too bad. It means I have to come up with a completely new map, though.
Which I think that there's one or two ways they could go about that. I think one is there's like they do the Fortnite style thing where they just wipe it clean and you start again. It's a new thing, new operators, new guns. It's basically a new Call of Duty.
Okay.
Or they could just keep adding new stuff. But the only thing is with them adding new stuff, I think it'd be cooler to just add new stuff because you'd have, in like, I don't know, 5 years time, you could have stuff from the first like Modern Warfare that came out with like the rebooted Modern Warfare. But imagine the size what the game would be. It's already like 200 gigabytes.
Yeah.
You'd be looking at an absurd size game.
Yeah, they'll well, if those rumors are true, then they are definitely going to have to find out. Well, they're definitely going to have to compress it for one, as they do anyway. But even that might not be enough. So, yeah, good luck to them if they're going to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, what other games? What other games coming out? There's a game that's supposed to come out this year that I got to play a demo of, but I think I mentioned it on the. I don't know. But Ghost Runner, absolutely, it's
Okay.
It's like a parkour game. It's like Mirror's Edge, but it's
Okay, sweet.
Has that not Doom? Like you just you do find and kill, but it's not like you're killing every 2 seconds. Like you're running on platforms, you're running across walls, and then you gotta like slow down, teleport to then dodge bullets to not get killed. And honestly, it was quite fun when I first played it because they had it on the Steam store for a demo, and it's supposed to come out this year for basically Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. So I was like, I'll just give it a try, and it was actually quite good. So I can't actually wait for it to come out and play the whole story.
Sweet.
Any films?
I'll have to
any
try
films
that.
besides Tenet that are still coming out this year? You guys excited for? Or you guys...
I haven't really checked, but I am very. Hang on, I will check in just a second. I want to see the list on IMDb. Is usually the website I kind of go to for that kind of stuff.
I watched a trailer for a film that's coming out in October called Death on the Nile, which is based on the Is it based on the book where This is where I haven't done enough research, and I don't know if it's based on a true story or if it's actually just a novel. Death on the Nile. So it's basically about a detective who like investigates a murder of like somebody on a cruise ship while they're like on the River Nile.
Okay.
And I know I watched I haven't seen the film for the other one that was like directed and it stars like the guy who plays the detective. He also did one on the Murder on the Orient Express.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, and it's got like a pretty interesting cast. You got Kenneth. I feel bad again. These last names are on. Barnworth, goodness. He also stars in Tenet. You got Gal Gadot. Oh God, no, God. You got Gal
Gadot.
Gal Gadot. As in
Is it Gal Gadot? I think her name is.
Yeah,
I think
Gal
it's
Gadot or something like that.
Gal, yeah.
Bill and Ted coming back.
Oh yeah,
Face the
Bill and
Music.
Ted Face the Music.
Anything with Keanu. I mean, I haven't even seen the original Bill and Ted's, but I want to
Cyberpunk
now.
2077 has Keanu Reeves.
Yes, and
It
that
does.
is
um,
awesome in every aspect.
One of the cast members you might recognise, that I will mention, who's starring in this film as well, Emma Mackey. Do you guys know her?
Emma Mackey.
Yeah, she played, is it Me from Sex Education?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. And then you got Russell Brand, you got Arnie Hammer, and then you got that girl from Black Panther. I forgot her name.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what? The girl who what?
The sister.
T'Challa's sister.
Yes.
Yeah.
The sister. Yeah, sister to Black
I
Panther.
can't believe how skinny she is.
Shocking.
It is mad, isn't she? Like when you see, I mean, she's probably not actually that skinny, but when you see her stood next to all these like beefed up Marvel superheroes, it's like, jeez.
What was it? What else? The Kingsman. That's coming out in September.
Yes, I do want to see
plan
that.
to see that.
The Kingsman films were really good. I like them.
I love the first
I
one.
like.
Second one was alright. First one was amazing.
I just love their comedic tone. Like they're just kind of like a more.
They don't take themselves seriously, and that's alright.
Yeah, like they're a lot more chill versions of James Bond, you could say. I mean, it's just so. I don't know. I just love it. It's just my kind of film. Is it Taron Egerton? I think his name is.
Yeah, Taron
Yeah.
Egerton. He's actually
he's a brilliant
seen him in
actor.
almost everything I know.
Yeah, he was really good in Rocket Man. Rocket Man's a really good film.
I still haven't seen that yet.
I haven't either.
Yeah, it's really good. No, you definitely want to watch it. It's very good.
Candyman. Halloween Kills was meant to come out this year, but it's been delayed to next Halloween because they feel like, if things get worse.
Sorry, what's that last movie you just said?
Candyman.
Ah, okay.
It's from producer Jordan Peele, and
that'll be good then.
It looks fairly different, which is cool, which is quite nice. It's not like a complete remake, not a complete reboot. Oh wow. It's more like it's a reboot, really. Is it reboot or is it a remake? Because I mix up these two really badly.
Well, I mean, if it's
if it's different,
what do you count? What do you count as a reboot, and what do you count as a remake? I mean, what are like the differences?
Rebooting the franchise. That's what I know as rebooting, and then remaking is remaking a film, but maybe making some adjustments to it. So yeah, I think it'd be remake, really, unless it'd be a sequel. But
we will find out, I'm sure.
What's it? There's a film that there's a trailer that's supposed to come out for this film this month called Dune, and it's by the director who's directed Arrival and Blade Runner 2049.
Ooh.
What's it called?
Dune. It's like Dune.
Oh yes. Isn't that supposed to be kind of like a Maze Runner?
Somewhat. Yeah. It's like something like that. Yeah. It's got like Oscar Isaac. It's got Jason Momoa. It's got Timothy. I have a feeling I'm gonna get this last name wrong. Chalamet.
Oh, Timothée Chalamet. I think his name is. Is it Chalamet?
When I get introduced to people, just tell me your last name so I don't have to try and pronounce it myself. I'm trying to see what other 2020 film. Oh yeah, No Time to Die, the new James Bond film. I almost forgot that.
See, I've never been a massive James Bond fan.
Yeah, I mean, I'd
much rather like. I know that it's like. Well, to be fair, I'm not like I don't really know that much about them, so I don't want to like make any assumptions. But like, it's a like a spy movie, isn't it? Like a sort of action movie. Like I'd put that in the same sort of category as John Wick and like The Equalizer. Would that be right? Same sort of genre, action stuff.
Because
I'd much prefer to watch like The Equalizer or John Wick, just because I don't know. I think they're more exciting. I never really sort of got on with the whole 007 thing.
Fair enough. What else we got? We got so we also got Wonder Woman 1984. That's still coming out in October.
Yeah, that I want to see that because the first Wonder Woman film was good.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
and she was good in Justice League and Batman v Superman. I mean, obviously, the whole kind of.
Woman.
I mean,
yeah,
she is very good for the role, without a doubt. But I was just like the Batman v Superman and the Justice League film. It wasn't her. It was just kind of them films flopped, so it didn't. I don't think she kind of got the traction as as Wonder Woman that she deserved. But I think hopefully in 1984 she'll get that.
Yeah. What else is there? Oh, there's also Black Widow coming out in October. I know it's November in America, but here we get it like a week early, so.
Hey.
You know how Marvel
what
is,
we like.
okay?
Apparently they do.
Indeed.
I'm going in circles.
So I can't wait for the Black Widow to come out, and hopefully we'll get to see like some surprises as well. Cause apparently, Iron Man's supposed to be in it, or Robert Downey Jr.
Ooh.
Oh, another film that's coming out in December. Free Guy.
I'm really looking forward to that.
Yes.
I do
now
want to
that
see it.
looks very cool.
Just the fact it has Ryan Reynolds in it, because it's like, and how the marketing went for the first round. I was like, yeah, he was involved in this. I know that. There's no way that someone just went, yeah, let's do that. But yeah, I can't wait for it, because it's like a battle royale in a GTA-like world with NPCs only starting to realise they're actually in a video game, and I love it.
Yeah.
And you got like Joe Keery, who plays Steve from Stranger Things. You got Tiger Waititi. You got Jodie Corner, I think, as well. If most people probably know her from Killing Eve. And then that's like.
Don't think I watched that.
Oh, yeah,
actually,
quite a good show.
Not thirsty that either.
But yeah, I was like, oh, surprised to hear in it as well. Oh, another film that's coming out in September is The New Mutants. I'm surprised it's been delayed for so long. You gotta blame Disney and COVID-19 for that.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying. They
I just remember seeing the
Mucked
film
that
getting
up.
a release date for April.
But, I
and
mean,
was
you
like,
can't really help that.
finally, and then that COVID-19 happened, and you're just like, oh no. Oh, you gotta imagine the people who wanted a release were got so depressed. But hopefully, it can actually get released this time. It's getting released in late August in America, and then it's getting released like here in like right at the start of September, which is nice. So we don't have to wait too long for it. But yeah, that's like really most of the films we've mentioned that are coming out this year, and then really it's films like Ghostbusters and Quiet Place and Morbius as well, and Venom, because Venom was supposed to come out. Venom 2 was. Oh no, Venom Let There Be Carnage was supposed to come out this year, but they set it for June.
Interesting choice that they picked Woody Harrelson as Carnage.
Yeah.
I have nothing against it. Love Woody Harrelson as an actor, but it was just like it just completely took me by surprise.
Yeah.
Just didn't expect it.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
But yeah, it should be good.
Oh yeah, The Spiral, the new Saw film with Chris Rock and Samuel Jackson, is supposed to come out next year as well. Because it was supposed to come out back in May, but they're like, now we'll set it for next May, and I was like, God damn it. And same with King Kong vs Godzilla, that was set for November. Now that's set for bloody May, and next year. Well, I say 2021 is going to be an amazing year. Unless another virus goes...
Don't jinx it, please, for the love of God.
Unless another virus goes, hey, let's have another pandemic, shall we? And put people's lives at risk. And ruin everything. Because that's literally what they did. What else do we have? Oh, yeah, any life stories. To be fair, I think I was just trying to see if this would go in line with anything, but I don't think it did.
Well, a podcast, I mean, we haven't really kind of stuck to one category of things, have we? You know, we've been talking about kind of different subjects.
Conspiracy theories.
Oh, I mean,
I
know Josh is definitely a sucker for conspiracy theories.
Chemtrails, aliens built the pyramids. Bush did 9/11.
The accusations
Oh.
have been thrown.
No, I mean, I don't believe in all these different. I mean, there's some conspiracy
When
theories
you
I believe in,
dive
but
into it like 3 in the morning, you really do think, and it gets really creepy.
there's some things that people say that I agree with or that I can relate to. I mean, like I'm a big fan of the whole aliens built the pyramids.
Oh yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it is pretty incredible if they didn't.
Do you know
I
what
mean,
do you know what I have a weird feeling that I kind of agree with? We have these kind of glitch in the Matrix moments, like we don't really live in a proper reality. Because I've had some moments where I've just gone, wait, hold on,
that's always
that's
been like
happened.
a really big conspiracy theory. I mean, obviously, you know, Matrix did kickstart that kind of theory.
But it's like, you know, you realise it's like, wait, that didn't make sense. It's these things you see.
Oh yeah,
and
no, I've seen loads of videos and stuff where you just look at stuff and you're like, that can't be photoshopped, but it just doesn't look real either.
Yeah.
And then you get, it's really weird. It's stuff that is on the internet, but it's like, if this is something that we shouldn't know, why hasn't it been taken down yet? I think one of my things I had, I don't know if it's a glitch in the Matrix, but it's more like a really weird moment. Like, I woke up at like 6 morning, I looked at the alarm clock, it said like 6, no, it said like 6:10 or something, and I'm not shitting you when I say this, I blinked, it went from 6:10 to 7:30 in one blink, and I didn't feel like I slept at all. That's really fucking weird to me. And I remember it because it's like I blinked and I actually double blinked again to see like, oh god, right, yeah, that is, because it did read it as 6:10, like clear as day, and I was like waking up, and then like I blinked, and then all of a sudden it changed to 7:30. I was like, okay. So that was a weird. I know someone's gonna have an explanation when they listen to this podcast, like, oh, that's just your brain, like you'll have those moments where you'll pass out for a moment.
I've definitely had moments like that where, you know, you kind of fall asleep, you wake up like 5 minutes later and then it's like been like 2 or 3 hours and you're like, what the fuck?
Not enough sleep.
Yeah, and you're just like, I swear I was like, I swear it was 5 minutes. And you'll be like so convinced. And
I sometimes wonder if it's we cross with a parallel universe, maybe, or an alternate universe. I like that theory because I listened to a to a story in the No Sleep podcast. Yeah, we're definitely not sponsored, but it's basically a story about someone who wants to know somebody's past experiences, but they can only remember bits. So they'll tell the story, and then he'll like ask them to tell it again, and then we'll start asking questions like, "What were you doing here? Why was this on? Why was this off? Like, what made you think this?" And then like the person started to change, like started to go, "Wait, hold on," and started to think, and then all of a sudden he's like saying like different stuff happened, and like the weird thing is like it's a good story. I don't want to spoil it, but it messes with reality and time. I'm just gonna say that. It's really fucking good. It's a good story. It's on the No Sleep podcast. I believe anybody now can listen to it because it was on one of the season pass stories, but it's now free to listen to anybody. But it is a really good story, and I think it was about alien encounters, and yeah. So that's why, like, I do feel like we do kind of cross with reality every now and again. We cross with another reality every now and again. But it's very, very rare that we do, and it's only for a very brief moment. It's not like we do this for ages. It just does it, and then.
Well, we may never know.
Yeah, we may never know.
Well, they say that that it's not really like different dimensions or anything, but that when you sleep, you're effectively going to another place, and you're effectively living a life somewhere else because you're asleep like, it's like 40% of your life or something.
Actually, that's.
And it's like, I'm to say that you're like, for you to, be alive that much of your life but be asleep, it's like Actually,
this
sort of unfair to just say, oh, it's just sleep.
Something else I wanted to mention. This has to do with Inception as well, with dreams. Like when you fall asleep and have a dream, time is slower in the
Yeah.
dream. If that like time is like you
Oh,
could have
definitely.
4 hours when it's only been an hour, like in reality. And I always figured, like, when you go to sleep and people still wake, but you're dreaming, but then like you wake up, like when you feel like you've woken up 10 minutes later, even though you've woken up 6 hours later.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a weird. Are we all like in the same time loop? Are we all in the same, like, going in the same pace with time, or?
Hmm. See, I think that's quite interesting actually. It's like going back to the interstellar relativity thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if time's relative to, I mean, I know that science says that it's not, but if time's relative to like a planet, is it relative to one person? Like, I like the whole idea of when you're doing something that you're enjoying, time seems to fly, but when you're
Yeah.
bored, time seems to drag. I really like that sort of the thought that time could be traveling different for, like, if I'm working on a car, I like time just flies, but then Louis, you could be sat at home like I don't know, doing something you hate doing, like gardening or something, and time could be dragging for you. But it's just weird
Mm.
how, like, we both experience that same time. It's still the same amount of time, but we just
Yeah.
experience it differently and have a different
Yeah,
perception
no,
of it.
I've had plenty of conversations like that. Like I've been like, oh, it's been such a long day, just been doing all this, blah blah blah, and someone will be like, oh no, it's been like really quick for me. I've been having a good day, all this, and you're just like, oh, it's just been so long for me.
Yeah, it is. It is real. I think it's really interesting how it's just completely different for different people.
Yeah, it's. I feel that'd be a question for another day. Would I say? Yeah. Well. Anything you guys want to shed any light on before we wrap up the podcast?
Um.
Oh, I've got.
Well. Yeah, go
You
on.
bo-
You go. You go. No, you go, Lou. You go, Lou. You go first.
No, mate, I was
Oh,
literally
here we.
just thinking as like, so
Okay.
but if you've got some, say it, 'cause I haven't
Um,
currently.
two things that I just thought we could talk about is one being do either of you two watch Lucifer, the series Lucifer?
I don't, but I kind of do.
I haven't watched it since we watched it. I
I kind of
haven't
want to.
started it. Yeah, I need to
Okay, so
start
we,
it
we
though.
can't really talk about that, but I would seriously strongly advise watching it. So, like, the first 3 seasons are on Amazon Prime,
We could.
and the 4th season's on Netflix. The only reason I said about it was because the 5th season comes out on Friday. I
Okay.
think it's meant to be the last season, so I'm
Oh.
like proper hyped for that. But it's definitely worth a watch. It's really good. Tom Ellis does like a brilliant job of playing Lucifer.
I've
It's
seen
just like
some
it's
of the
really
things
funny.
he does. He's actually a pretty good Lucifer.
He is. He's really funny. Like, there's serious moments. It's quite light-hearted as well. It's quite funny. It's like it's a good laugh watching it. Um, the other thing I was going to say about was uh, have either of you watched the first season of The Haunting of Hill House?
Oh, I have.
Yes,
I have.
I have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not
Not
they're meant
very
to be bringing the new
good with
season out in
horror, but
2021,
I
aren't
loved
they?
that.
No, it's
Yeah, it was so good.
no, I thought it was 2020 because
Yes, I think it was meant to be, but I think it's been pushed back.
no, it hasn't. It hasn't
It
been
hasn't?
delayed. No, because they said
Oh,
COVID hasn't
sweet.
delayed it, so it's been thankfully.
Oh, nice.
I think
That's
it's
sick
called
then.
Billamana. The Haunted. Yeah, and
We
it's.
should have a
Because,
compilation of Kieran just butchering names.
I feel like this
Yeah.
is something. This is a Halloween episode that we could have.
Oh, a
see.
Halloween
Yeah.
episode would be good on like
Yes.
all horror.
Oh, we
yeah.
could talk
Yeah,
about
very
horror
sure.
stories that we've had as well.
Mm.
Yes.
Oh, and you just reminded me about there's meant to be the new Halloween movie coming out. Is it this year or is it next year?
like I said, they pushed it to next year because they feel like COVID will come back and screw over a lot of people. So I was like, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks because I was really excited because I loved the 2018 Halloween. I think David
It
Gordon
was really
Green,
good, wasn't it?
who's also
Yeah.
directed Pineapple Express and
What a
Your
movie.
Highness, and also with Danny McBride, who's written the script. It's honestly brilliant. Like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, they do care about the franchise and they really do want to make it something like something that.
Well,
people
that's why I love like having people on stuff like that. Like, just like if you just let people who really care about the franchise do stuff with it, because then you know they're gonna take care of it and give people what they want when it comes to that franchise.
Yeah.
So I think like it's very good that they've got people on those types of films that are gonna, you know, do what needs to be done. They know what people want and so on, if you know what I mean.
It's nice to know that that people are actually that they care about the franchise and not just about making money out of stuff, because there are certain movies, not with every movie, because there's some movies it's like whatever, but there are some movies that are like closer to people's hearts that are like that are remakes especially, and they need to be done right. They're not necessarily going to live up to the old ones, but they at least need to get some things right, and they need to be directed by someone who actually cares and like actually knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it does really show when a director cares about like not just like making a good movie, but like the integrity of the story. You can really tell.
Well, let's say we wrap up this podcast for tonight. Thank you so much for everyone who's listened to the episode, and yes, next 2 episodes will be review specials on Tenet and the second season of The Boys. We might have some special guests on who are not part of the Bay House crew, but it'd be interesting to see other people's thoughts as well, and what we think of, you know, second season of The Boys and Tenet as a whole. So yeah, thank you so much for listening in. We'll be back probably, I feel like it's going to be September. You'll hear an episode. September, right at the start of September, we'll start rolling out the next 2 episodes. Because Boys Season 2 comes out September 4th, or Tenet comes out next Wednesday, but I probably won't be seeing it till Friday or Saturday. So, yeah. Thank you so much, and until next time, guys, we'll see you a lot later.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye bye.